After this story, make sure y'all check the video at the end. You heard I'm giving y'all a sneak preview of some of the new fire that I put out. Give me your opinion. Let me know how you feel about that. You heard? But yo, this is the story of Starve the Ghetto, where I'm giving y'all one of my rap hood stories. Now, I mean, letting y'all know what was going on in my life, you know, when I was pushing some of the best music I ever made in my life, and basically some of the turmoil, trials and tribulations I faced in this rap game. Now, I mean, I don't want to blow it up. Just watch the story. You heard? LAZ. Like, literally, I was walking around Dykeman crying with a Mac 11 with one motherfucking joint in the head. You know, just looking for an excuse to go back to jail, looking for an excuse to throw my life away because I was frustrated. You heard? I was frustrated and stressed coming home from that bid. Like, yo, Laz, yo, I just showed the Starve the Ghetto video to the whole MTV staff, and he said when that shit went off, motherfuckers gave you a standing ovation, my nigga. Motherfuckers was clapping and saying, yo, this is real hip hop and this is the future of rap and this kid is a star. Yo, bro, and that nigga gave me, he said, yo, it's only a matter of time before we get this fucking video into rotation. He said, anywhere you go in this country or even the world, it's hundreds of thousands of people out there aspiring to be rappers and making a decision in their life to become famous rapping. And this story right here is a story on how I came this close from making it in the rap game. This is the story of Starve the Ghetto. So boom, like so many others, I came home from jail in 1999 aspiring to be a rapper. I wasn't rapping before I went to jail, but I was always a hip hop fanatic, and I started rapping in 9-6 in Green Correctional Facility. I had tried to rap before then, and I was so terrible. I told this story before. I had tried to rap before 1996 until I heard Biggie's album, Ready to Die. Ready to Die was so fire. When I heard the album, I literally took my rhyme book and threw it in the garbage. You heard? Biggie was so nice, he just made me throw my whole rhyme book in the garbage. And I didn't attempt to write a rhyme again until 1996. 1996, I came out my shell and I realized I was a beast with that pen. You feel what I'm saying? And I made a vow. When I came home, I was gonna leave anything street or trouble related alone and just go at the rap game, and I'ma make it. Because I had confidence in myself and I believed in myself and I knew I was spitting that heat. So like I said, I came home in 99. Now I was on parole. I had 3 years of parole to do, you know, and I went through hell. I went back to jail 2 times. I lasted in the streets 4 months. I was back in jail. Came home, lasted another 4 months. I was back in jail again on Rikers Island, OBCC, HDM, C73. You feel what I'm saying? Like, my life was going nowhere. I was rapping. I was recording music. I was laying that heat down, but I was still naive to how much parole was a trap off and how these streets can be a trap off if you play around with your freedom in your life. I was kind of bullshitting. I was laying heat down, but I was still playing around in the streets because basically I was broke and I came home from jail. You know, I didn't understand the psychological ramifications of a prison bid. Like, you feel me? I came home from jail. I was institutionalized. I was fucked up. You heard? Emotionally, socially, I was fucked up and I didn't know it. I did only 6 years in the pen and I figured, you know, 6 years is not enough to make a motherfucker life turn upside down. And I was wrong. I came home from the can. You heard? At first, everything was cool, but after a couple of months, you know, I found myself unemployed, broke, you know, living in the projects with my moms, arguing with my moms over petty shit all the time. And, you know, I remember the climax to that whole situation. I remember one time, me and my moms had an argument over some bread. I was broke as fuck. You heard? And you know, that just came home from jail shit had wore off. So I was arguing with my moms one day, and I stormed out the house. I got mad. I had a Mac 11 that the bro Murder gave me, rest in peace, and I ain't have no clip to it at the time. So I literally just had one bullet in the head of a Mac 11, and you know, I said, fuck that, I'm tired of being broke. And really, all of this shit was symptoms of stress and institutionalism. I'm like, fuck that, I'm tired of being broke, I don't give a fuck. And I went outside with the Mac 11. I tried to throw a button-up dress shirt on to try to be slick, like ain't nobody gonna think about me having a gun on with a pair of slacks and a button-up shirt. So I threw a button-up shirt and a pair of slacks on and threw the Mac 11 in my waist somehow and went out the house. You feel what I'm saying? And I'm walking around in Dykeman Projects, I'm walking around in circles, you know, acting like I'm looking for somebody to rob, when all of this shit was really me breaking down from post-traumatic stress and me coming home from a bid of 6 years being in captivity. And now I'm in these streets. I just didn't know how to function. I couldn't adjust. So I'm walking around the streets with the Mac 11, frustrated and emotional. I'm gonna rob me an old ass nigga or something. I'm gonna do something crazy to get some money. You feel me? And after walking around for about 20 minutes crying, like literally I was walking around Dykeman crying with a Mac 11 with one motherfucking joint in the head, you know, just looking for an excuse to go back to jail, looking for an excuse to throw my life away because I was frustrated. You heard? I was frustrated and stressed coming home from that bid. So as I'm walking around crying and shit, you know, I just came to my senses. And a voice in my ear, my own voice in my ear said, nigga, you get caught with that Mac 11 right now, I don't give a fuck if it don't got no clip. You get caught with that Mac 11 right now, they gonna roof your ass and you gonna go to the penitentiary for the next 10 years, nigga. Stop fucking crying and adjust yourself to these streets and get your shit together. Little did I know I probably was in dire need of some psychological help and therapy. You feel what I'm saying? So I ended up bouncing and going upstairs with the Mac, putting that shit away. And luckily, I ain't get ran down by no police because this was stop and frisk era. You feel me? So luckily, I ain't get ran down by no police and catch a whole new charge a month out the penitentiary. You feel what I'm saying? But like I said, these were the frustrations and stress of being an ex-felon coming home from doing a bid when you was locked up basically your whole teenage years and some of your early 20s. So boom, you know, like I said, I was home for a few years chasing this rap game. In about 2005 is when I really started getting serious with this shit. You heard I had put a studio in my crib. I told that story on how I got a studio in my crib. You heard, and I was beginning to record, mix, and handle my own shit. And getting the studio in my crib with my team, my pottersfield niggas, like, it did a lot for me psychologically. It made me calm down, and it made me say, all right, now I know what I want to do in life. You feel me? Like, I got this shit now. You feel me? So maybe the summer of 2005 or 2006, I'm not sure. But I recorded this song called Starve the Ghetto. Now, I had already been putting out heat. Anybody that knew me, they know I was tearing mixtapes up. I was tearing the internet up. I was putting out some heat. I was selling, me and my team was selling motherfucking albums in the hood, and we was going platinum in the hood, man. Like, we had the whole hood talking about Pottersfield and our mixtape. You know, whether it was good or bad, we was the talk of the hood. You know what I mean? My bro Rave Roulette, Bucker, Opium, Soldier, OZ, all of us was putting in work, man. Like, we was doing productive shit. We was staying away from them streets. We was just trying to make music. You feel what I'm saying? And one day, this dude named Wave from Canada sent me a beat. And I mean, I had been talking to Son. Son had some heat. And one day, you know, Wave Beats was nuts. Me and Son ended up having a fallout later on down the line. We'll get to that. But Son Beats was hot and shit. So he sent me this one beat. When I heard this shit, I was like, what the fuck is this, my nigga? The beat was so crazy. You know how if you a rapper, you ever hear a beat so crazy that you don't even tell nobody about it? You just grab that shit up and go in the fucking cave somewhere and write a song? When I heard this shit, I was like, oh shit, I'm going in on this. So literally, soon as I got the beat, I sat down, I played that shit. I wrote the entire song in about 15, 20 minutes, the whole Starve the Ghetto song. That's why if you listen to that song carefully, I say the word nigga a million times, because basically I was just writing off. I was so nervous that somebody else would get that beat and use that beat that I was writing at 100 miles per hour, and it was like a freestyle. Like, this shit is off the top of my dome. I wasn't thinking about editing my bars or none of that. I'm just like writing crazy fast because I wanted to get this song recorded. So literally I wrote the whole song in like 20 minutes, basically freestyle writing. You feel me? So, man, listen, this beat was so bananas. I heard this shit. I hit that nigga back. I said, yo, bro, you made this beat? He said, yeah. You would never guess where the sample came from, and I would never tell. You heard? So when he told me where the sample came from, he said, yo, they not gonna find it. They not gonna find it, I'm telling you. Now, I mean, I said, man, listen, that sample come from something major. If they find out what it is, they gonna copyright strike that shit and get it out the game. He like, they never gonna find it. I chopped it up so crazy. I'm like, all right, man, listen, that beat was so bananas. I went in immediately, right? You wanna know some crazy shit? While I was in the booth recording, like I recorded the first verse. I was in my house, somebody was recording me, probably Joe Dancer, like, yo, bro, record me right quick, I'm gonna lay this song down. I hopped in the booth, I started spitting. I did the first verse, right? Now, at this time in the hood, you know, it was the summertime. There's a bunch of us, bunch of niggas hanging in front of the building, bunch of us affiliated with each other in the projects. A lot of dumb shit was going on, and you know, that dumb shit that was going on ended up spawning into serious shit. And at the time when I was recording this song, it was a lot of funny shit going on in the hood, a lot of tension between us and other niggas in the hood. And while I'm in the motherfucking booth about to lay down my second verse, my phone rings. I'm like, yo, hold on, my phone ringing. I pick up the phone, I'm like, yo, what up? And it was my man. He was like, yo, son, know what I mean? I'm just giving you the heads up, man. We just shot at such and such in the middle of the hood. You feel what I'm saying? So I'm like, what? He like, yeah, man, know what I mean? Shit went down. We had to let it off broad daylight in the middle of the hood. So I'm like, damn, while I'm in the booth, I'm saying to myself, it's gonna be a hot, long summer. You feel what I'm saying? But yo, put that fucking beat back on. Nigga put the beat back on. I laid my second verse, the hooks. You feel what I'm saying? And the shit was a masterpiece. And it was a song called Starve the Ghetto. And if you're not familiar with that song, Starve the Ghetto, go check it out after this joint, or pause this and type it in and go check it. Basically, man, let me tell you about this song. I put so much heart and soul and passion and feeling into this song that when it was created, everybody's jaw was dropping. Like, when niggas heard it, niggas was like, oh shit, son, you recorded that? Yo, that shit is crazy. Yo, we gonna get on. We gonna blow up. Yo, son, you gonna get on with that shit. Like, I had made the song that nobody could deny, even to this day. Anybody hears that song, I posted this song and video on Instagram the other day. That shit got 134 comments on it already, with people saying, yo, how you ain't blow off this, Laz? Where was I at when you dropped this shit? You feel what I'm saying? So I had made a song that I wholeheartedly felt could take me to the next level and get me on in this game and take me out the sea of 3 million other rappers trying to get on in the game and make me special. So I was hyped. You heard? I was hyped, and I was pushing this song on the underground for a minute. I started pushing this shit to mixtapes, and that's how I ended up meeting that kid Crack Tax. The kid Crack Tax, he heard Starve the Ghetto and he hit me up. He like, yo, bro, that Starve the Ghetto song you made, that shit is miraculous. Like, I want to manage you, blah, blah, blah. So I started fucking with the bro. You know, we put together a St. Laz Street album called, what the fuck was this shit called? We put together a St. Laz Street album called Revenge. And you could go look that up. Matter of fact, it's on YouTube, but it's labeled as Best of St. Laz Mixtape. But that's the album. It's called Revenge. And on that shit, it was a couple of fake ass tracks that, you know, I put myself on, or with the help of DJ Diggs, rest in peace, was sending me exclusive G-Unit shit that wasn't released. How he got it in his hand, how he got those songs in his hands was a mystery. But he was giving me songs that wasn't 50. This is when 50 Cent was the biggest thing in the streets and G-Unit was the biggest thing in the streets. DJ Diggs had got his hands on some unreleased G-Unit shit, 50 Cent shit, and he sent it to me. One of the songs was a song called Simply the Best with me and 50 Cent on it. That shit was on heavy mixtapes. Another joint was a joint called Another joint was a joint with Freeway called Bang Bang that you could look that song up anywhere. You're only gonna find a version of it with me on it. Even on Freeway album, it's only the version with me on it. You feel me? So rest in peace, DJ Diggs. DJ Diggs had hit me with so much unreleased 50 Cent shit. I was killing the mixtape market. And then when I followed up with Starve the Ghetto, that shit backed niggas down. You feel what I'm saying? So I started fucking with the kid Crack Tax. Crack Tax made moves and got the group SAS from London on the remix. Now, I never spoke to SAS. I never met them niggas. None of that shit. But they killed the remix. When he sent that shit to me, I said, oh, these niggas went in. You feel what I'm saying? So if you look that up, Saint Laz featuring SAS, Starve the Ghetto remix, that shit is bananas. At that time, SAS was a part of Dipset or whatever, and they was making heavy, heavy noise in the streets. So now I got a blazing ass single and I got SAS on the remix in London. That got my London and Europe and UK fan base even more popping. A bunch of niggas from the UK started hitting me up. You feel what I'm saying? So I'm feeling myself, my nigga. I got a good single out. I got a good street album out. I'm making noise on the underground for real. So then, I don't even know how I met the bro, but I met this director that had just moved to Brooklyn named Sophie Khan. You heard? We called him Soph for short. Now, since we did this video, Soph done became a Emmy nominated director. He did all type of shit. Basically, I had hit some with some music to let him hear some music or whatever. And he called me one day and he was like, yo, Laz, he said, that fucking song, Starve the Ghetto. He said, that shit is breathtaking. He said, I want to film a video for that, please. You heard? So he like, yo, I'm telling you, I could film a professional, award-winning type of video for that shit. So I'm like, what? I'm like, word? I bet. Let's do it. You heard? So I got up with the bro Soph and we went to Brooklyn and we filmed this Starve the Ghetto video. You feel me? Now, when I got up with Soph, you know, I had did a couple of videos before that, but when I got up with Soph was on a different level. You feel what I'm saying? Son is an Indian kid or whatever. I'm not sure his exact nationality, but son put that work in, and the end result of the video was a bananas video, bro. I had my bro Judo featuring it when he had just came home from the can. Know what I mean? I had my bro Judo on the scene when I'm in front of the movie theater, the old movie theater. Judo was behind me. I had Snipe Life in that shit. I had Aguilar in that shit. And that shit was funny because at the time, Aguilar was living in Crown Heights on like Franklin Avenue and shit. One of them avenues, I can't remember what street it was on, but it was dead, smack dead in Crown Heights where it was the hood for real. You feel what I'm saying? And at the time, you know, Aguilar was tight big because he had the Purple City shit going on, Purple City Bird Gang. Everybody knew who Aguilar was. He did that beat for Purple City. So I'm like, listen, I need a cameo of you in this video, my nigga. You heard? We got to go outside and do that shit. So I remember us going outside to catch that cameo. And I remember the nigga Aguilar was like, you know what I mean? He ain't say nothing, but I know he was like, listen, nigga, I'm living in smack dab in the middle of the hood on the low. You feel me? I do not need all these niggas knowing where I rest my dome at. So let's make this shit brief. You know what I mean? And at the time, I just needed that cameo, but now I totally understand. Like, a nigga got rap fame and he living smack dab in the hood. There's a million jealous, hating niggas to worry about. You feel what I'm saying? So I was so thirsty for that motherfucking appearance in the video, for that cameo in the video. I was like, come on, son, let's get this shit in. So I got the nigga Aguilar in it. I got Snipe Life in it. I got a lot of motherfuckers in the video. I got the bro Strong, now from LA. You feel me? I got a lot of motherfuckers in the video that, you know, ended up doing some shit in the industry, the rap game and all of that. You feel me? And the video came out nuts, bro. So now we got the video. Now check this shit. The whole Starve the Ghetto song and video made my shit step up to the next level and made a lot of motherfuckers start hollering at me and taking me seriously, right? So I ended up with some management. I was fucking with this dude, DJ Fade, not the black DJ Fade, the white DJ Fade. You heard I was fucking with the bro, DJ Fade, and you know, his partner, who was a chick named Lisa. Now, if you're familiar with the channel, I told a story about Lisa with the Foles voice with Jordan Tower, where we was riding around with the fake Rolls Royce and we ain't even know at first, you heard? If you ain't never see that story, go check it out. Jordan Tower and the Foles voice. But I started fucking with the management shit with Fade and Lisa, right? So Lisa was about that bag. She wasn't playing no games. She like, what do you want to do? I said, I want to push this Starve the Ghetto song and video as much as I could possibly push this shit. So Lisa got in contact with some dude. I forgot son name. It's fucked up that I forgot son name. You understand what I'm saying? But basically, son was an old school Jewish dude in the music industry that put in a lot of work for a lot of motherfuckers, right? Lisa gave him some money to push the Starve the Ghetto song and video as much as he could push it. Like I said, you know, she probably gave that nigga some good racks and he probably cuffed a nice amount of them racks and used the rest to motherfucking push the joint. You feel what I'm saying? But son did have some outlets. First outlet, he gave the video to Ralph McDaniels from Video Music Box. Ralph McDaniels is my bro. This was the first time Ralph had probably ever seen or heard of me when he got that Starve the Ghetto video. You feel me? So Ralph was playing the Starve the Ghetto video. Ralph was playing the Starve the Ghetto video on Video Music Box. Now, for those who don't know about Video Music Box, that's like the most legendary hip hop video show in the game. Like, you feel me? It started everything. It was the first music video show that basically birthed hip hop in New York City. So to be on that show was an honor. You feel me? And Ralph hollered at me and he let me know that he was feeling that song and that song and video was outstanding. You heard? So I developed a relationship with Ralph McDaniels over us pushing this video through through the Jewish dude we was pushing the video through, right? I had dudes calling me from Paris, from France, like, yo, son, I'm on vacation in Paris and I hear your song playing in the mall. I'm like, what? Niggas like, yeah, they playing Starve the Ghetto in the mall because, you know, at that time, dudes had connects with people playing music in shopping areas and radio, and it was so many different ways before the internet that dudes was trying to push their music. One of them was getting your shit played in malls and shopping centers. So whoever the Jewish dude knew, he had my shit playing in malls. So I was getting several calls from people across seas. Yo, St. Laz, yo, I was buying sneakers in a mall in the UK and your song was playing. And I'm like, yo, this dude is really putting in some work. You heard? This nigga putting in work. So son was putting in that work. I was reaping the benefits of that shit. You feel what I'm saying? But at this time, I ain't know shit about nothing. I ain't know shit about copyrights. I ain't know shit about trademarks. I ain't know shit about none of that. I'm just a thirsty artist trying to get heard fresh out the penitentiary. You feel what I'm saying? So come to find out, years later, I come to find out, you know, this dude this dude put a copyright in for Starve the Ghetto under his company. So to this day, whatever company he had is earning money off of Starve the Ghetto, and I'm not earning a dime. Whoever's listening to that shit, playing that video, that money is going into that man's company. And guess what? That man passed away. You feel what I'm saying? And if I'm not mistaken, he took his own life. You heard? The bro took it. His name was Mark. I forgot son's name, full name, but his name was Mark something. You heard? And I heard son took his own life. So basically, son got that money, that money transaction and that business transaction we did with him to promote Starve the Ghetto. That shit was like his last business transaction. Son took his own life and had the copyright for Starve the Ghetto under his company. So till this day, I need to get that shit situated. And I know it's a bag waiting for me when getting it situated, because for years and years and years, the bro had that joint copywritten. You feel what I'm saying? So I really couldn't do much with the song. So these are lessons learned for up and coming aspiring artists. Make sure you cross your T's and dot your I's, because it'll come back to bite you in the ass later on in life. You feel what I'm saying? So boom. So like I said, Starve the Ghetto is out there, is moving, is pushing. You heard? Any and everybody who hears that shit is saluting me and wanting to fuck with me, because they already know when you heard the song, only thing you could think of is this nigga is the next nigga to blow, making shit like that. So I had mad motherfuckers reaching out to me to fuck with me. Eventually, I met a dude that worked at MTV named Ramon Dukes. That was my bro. Now, Ramon Dukes used to run Mixtape Mondays on the MTV website. They had a Mondays, they would feature, you know, the hottest mixtape in the game, a couple of songs, and, you know, have a write-up or article about whoever was making it hot on the mixtape circuit. So the bro heard, I sent him a copy of the Starve the Ghetto video. He heard the song, seen the video, and he was blown away. Son hit me up. He like, yo, bro. Now, at the time, bro was working up at MTV. So, you know, the bro gives me a feature on the MTV website about Starve the Ghetto, the video, me, what I'm trying to do, who I am, all of that good shit. He ain't charged me a dime. He ain't mentioned no money. He was doing it for the love of pure, real hip-hop. He like, yo, this song is so bananas. This video is so bananas. I gotta help you get this shit on. You feel what I'm saying? So the bro featured me on Mixtape Mondays. When I got that Mixtape Mondays feature, that did a lot for me in the streets. Motherfuckers saw me on that. They was like, oh shit, this nigga Laz about to blow. And, you know, son kept it funky and official, and basically would be featuring me on Mixtape Mondays every Monday. Every Monday that came out, damn near, it was a Saint Laz song, a mixtape that I was on, or something with something related to me and my music that was on that Mixtape Mondays website. I was on that MTV website. So I was making noise. Like I said, this was way before social media, and this was way before the internet was so popular. You heard? Or let's just say this was way before it was so many different outlets on the internet to be able to push your music on. You heard? So being featured on Mixtape Mondays on MTV.com, that shit was huge. You heard? So now I got dudes from magazines hitting me, calling me. One time I did an interview with a hip hop magazine, and this was my first time doing a real interview, sitting down with a real journalist. And you know, I had him meet me in a restaurant and shit. I'm feeling myself, bro, because at this time my shit popping crazily. So I met this nigga, took him to a restaurant, and I remember he asked me a question. Like, I'm thinking he gonna ask me nothing but questions about me, my song, my shit. Out of nowhere, he just said some shit like, hey, Papoose put out an album and it didn't do so well. Why do you think his album didn't do so well? Do you think he'll get dropped from the label or whatever the fuck they asked me? I was mad off. Niggas caught me mad off guard. Recorder running. I'm like, in my head, I'm like, why this nigga asking me about Papoose? And I just spit out some dumb shit like, yo, you know, nowadays you gotta promote here, da 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 da. But niggas twisted my words around and made it look like I was shitting on the nigga or giving him a pointer for his album not doing good. Like, who the fuck is me to give him a point on what to do? I'm on the underground trying to get a motherfucking deal. But looking back at it, I would have been like, yo, I ain't got no comment on that, bro. You know what I mean? Dudes putting out music, that ain't got nothing to do with me. I would have just, but you know, it was my first real interview, so I just was stuck. And I said that shit. Papoose probably read that shit in the magazine and was like, I ain't fucking with this nigga. You feel what I'm saying? But that's another lesson learned. You doing interviews and shit, sometimes these journalists be fucking troublemakers, and to make an article interesting, they'll just throw your ass on the grill. You feel what I'm saying? So, but anyway, I remember sitting in Red Bamboo restaurant like I'm a motherfucking movie star, getting interviewed by this motherfucking magazine, you heard? And I was feeling myself. I'm like, yo, everything is going the way I planned it, nigga. Shit popping. I'm all over mixtapes. This song and video is taking me where I never thought I would be able to go. So the bro Ramon Dukes, you know, like I said, he worked for MTV. Ramon Dukes was like, yo, I'm gonna try to get this video played on MTV. So I'm like, word? He like, yeah, I'm gonna do what I can to push this shit on MTV. Bro, listen, check this shit out. I'm communicating with the bro Ramon Dukes daily. He telling me about all type of shit. So he like, yo, I'm doing everything in my power to try to get this shit seen and heard by the right motherfuckers. So, you know, son put it all on the line for me. Like, this is dude Ramon Dukes. He somehow got the whole MTV staff, program directors, and any and everybody involved in the process. He got these dudes to sit down and all watch my video, Starve the Ghetto, on the big screen TV in their offices, right? So after that shit was over, son called me. He was like, yo, Laz, yo, I just showed the Starve the Ghetto video to the whole MTV staff. And he said when that shit went off, motherfuckers gave you a standing ovation, my nigga. Motherfuckers was clapping and saying, yo, this is real hip hop and this is the future of rap and this kid is a star. Yo, bro, and that nigga gave me, he said, yo, it's only a matter of time before we get this fucking video into rotation. He said, look, I was trying to get this shit played a couple of times. He said, these motherfuckers is talking about they want your video in mainstream rotation with all the other big videos in the game for free, no money down. That's how impressed they was with that Starve the Ghetto shit. I never seen, Ramon Dukes told me I never seen no shit like this in my life. These motherfuckers, these executive motherfuckers, basically agreeing to putting your video in major rotation while you unsigned. Ain't nobody unsigned with they shit on top 40 rotation, and they talking about putting your shit in rotation. When that nigga told me that, nigga, I almost passed the fuck out. I'm like, what? He like, yeah, man. He like, yo, I can't believe this shit. I'm like, oh, shit. I'm telling my niggas, I said, son, yo, I made it, my nigga. Do you know what this nigga just called me and told me, my nigga? He said, that nigga's gonna put my shit in rotation. Son, I'm like, son, we gonna blow through the roof, my nigga, it's on. Now, I mean, word to my mother, I'ma cop the mansion. You heard, I'ma cop the motherfucking Bentley. Word to mother, yo, word to my mother, nigga, my chain, I'ma get a chain. My shit gonna be so big, my shit gonna be dragging that. I'ma need a wheelbarrow carrying my shit down the motherfucking street. That's how big my medallion gonna be, nigga. Nigga, I'm hyped. I'm like, it's on, nigga. I done did it. Word to everything I love, my nigga. I'm popping bottles of champagne. I'm copping bottles of champagne. I'm like this in the hood. I'm like, nigga, it's on, nigga. I just went hood platinum. When MTV put this shit in rotation, I'm going hood platinum. You heard? So my whole team hype, nigga. I'm telling my moms, I'm telling everybody, yo, bro, we did it. Yo, word to my mother, telling you we taking over everything. True hip hop is alive. Niggas think it's dead, but it's not. I'm talking all of that shit, bro. So for a week, I'm sitting around. He like, yo, I'm gonna get back at you when the shit is ready to go. So for a week, I'm stressed. I'm like, damn. I'm celebrating, but I'm nervous. I'm like, damn, I can't wait for this green light where this shit really goes into action. It's on, nigga. It's on. You heard? Son, I'm telling, we all celebrating. The whole team is hyped. You heard? I could taste success. That shit was on I could taste success. You heard? That shit was in the air. I'm like, oh shit, this how it feel to blow up? Yo, bro, I was so hyped. After a week, the nigga Ramon called me. He like, yo, I'm like, yo, what up? He like, yo, man, I got some bad news. I said, damn, what happened? He said, yo, man, before a video gets approved, it goes to a department called standards. And he said, in that department, they have lawyers look at the video to make sure it's nothing in the video that could get MTV sued. He said, and the lawyers said they can't play the video with that gun scene in, because in Starve the Ghetto, it's a scene where a dude creeps up in my house to try to, you know, kill me or whatever, and I wrestle the gun from him and end up killing him. We don't show me killing him, but I come out with blood on my face with a gun in my hand. It's real theatrical and cinematic. But MTV, their lawyers and shit, they was like, yo, we can't play the video with that gun scene in it. You heard? So tell him he gotta take that out if we gonna play the video. So I hit the dude Soph. I'm like, yo, Soph, they talking about we gotta take out the gun scene and we gotta take out the gun scene and the tussle scene in the video, or they not gonna be able to play the video. So Soph was like, yo, but if we take out the gun scene and the tussle scene, the whole video doesn't make sense. Like, that's the climax of the video, that, you know, you a struggling artist and you fighting for your life in these streets basically to get on, and this is the type of shit you gotta go through out here. I'm like, yo, bro, I'm trying to get this video on MTV, but on the low, I agreed with Soph. I'm like, yo, you know, I don't want to take from the artistry of the video. Like, the video is a masterpiece. I don't want to edit this shit or water it down or take nothing out of it. I said, yo, y'all just had a video. Like, I seen a video with Jay-Z get shot up in a drive-by with actual bullet holes and smoke coming out of him and all of that, and y'all let that shit rock. Like, I just got a gun in my hand, like, with a little bit of blood on my face. Like, y'all can't let that rock? They wouldn't let it rock. And Soph, being the artist that he was like, yo, I'm not editing that shit, man. That's the video, you feel me? And me being the artist, I kind of felt the same way. I'm like, I don't want to change that shit, man. You heard? I don't want to change that shit. But now, looking back, of course, I wonder, should I have just did what the fuck them niggas wanted me to do, or what? We didn't change the shit, and they ended up not playing the video, and my hopes and dreams was crushed. You heard? My shit was mad depressed, my nigga. Ain't nothing like the feeling of somebody telling you MTV Jams is about to throw your shit into regular rotation. Like I said, the bro was trying to get my video played 2 or 3 times. These niggas was like, nah, that shit gotta go in the regular rotation for months. Bro, that shit would've, listen, a song as powerful and a video as powerful as Starve the Ghetto, that shit would've blew me through the roof, my nigga. Right now, I would be a fucking platinum artist, you heard, and a legend in this rap game if Starve the Ghetto would've got on that motherfucking MTV rotation, bro. And that is a whole fact. It is no way anybody could deny that level of real, authentic hip-hop. For that type of authentic hip-hop to be shown worldwide, bro, I would have blew through the roof, and I would have a total different life right now. You feel what I'm saying? So that shit crushed my hopes and dreams like a motherfucking tin can and threw it in the garbage. And I was hurt. I was depressed. I was miserable, bro. But I did not let that shit stop me grinding. You heard? And after that, I put a video on MTV with Kiss called Swag on Pluto. And I put a video on MTV with Jim Jones and Vane called Show Off. You feel what I'm saying? So I still kept grinding. I still kept going. But it was no song. And I done made crazy songs. Fire as hell. Starve the Ghetto type vibes. I ain't never make a song as crazy as that Starve the Ghetto. And a video as crazy as that Starve the Ghetto video. That shit could have put me on top of the world and had me on the throne in this hip-hop shit. And that's a whole fact. You heard? So, you know, that's just my little story on how I came this close from being known worldwide, my nigga, and being a hip-hop icon forever. You feel what I'm saying? Make sure you go check that, man. It's called Starve the Ghetto, man, by a little rapper from Brooklyn out of Brownsville named Saint Laz. You feel me? And that shit is a winner. A lot of shit has changed in this city, you heard, but these midtown blocks, especially these blocks in Times Square, they'll always be significant to me, my career, my grind, because, You know, aside from the fact that this is where the record labels was at and the action was going down, I used to use Midtown, me and my team. We used to use these Midtown blocks as a escape from the hood. You feel what I'm saying? When niggas had mad beef in the hood, when niggas couldn't come outside without the ratchet and all type of dumb shit was going on in the hood, we would come down to Midtown to get a breath of fresh air, to relax our minds and forget about our life in the projects and in the ghetto. We'll just come down here, eat, roam these blocks and streets, and plot and plan and strategize on what we gonna do in this rap game, you heard? So these Midtown blocks, they always gonna be legendary. But this particular block right here, 45th Street, this is where MTV was located. I don't know if they still in that building. You know, MTV is under Viacom, so Viacom and MTV was all on this street right here, 45th Street. You heard this is where MTV was located, and it was plenty of days I had to come up here and meet Ramon Dukes with a new mixtape, you feel what I'm saying? Or another dude's mixtape who I was trying to help get on Mixtape Mondays, you feel what I'm saying? So this block is super historical. When I was spitting shit, like, I had to orchestrate a plan for us. We had to get a little cash before the man saw us. Transporters alive. I died to see my daughter survive, and I never had to fuck from hunger. Nigga, come to my Ave, where everybody hugging the Ave, with a pocket full of black depression, crack weapons and pain. This ghetto here left us insane. Niggas straining trying to live to 20. It was hard not to feel that Starve the Ghetto with bars like that. Yer. But this is just another one of my stories, man. Z-Lord, you heard? I told a story on how I did the video with Jim Jones. That was a movie. Soon I'm gonna tell a story on how I got the video done with Jadakiss. That's another movie. You heard? And you know, a dude left a comment the other day and was like, "Last left us for dead" with a bunch of repeats and went on TikTok. Let me explain this. Let me explain these things. You know, just so happened, I went super viral on TikTok with a video that did 3 million views, right? That shit opened up the floodgates. Now, it's times where I drop a story on TikTok and that shit do 100K views in 24 hours. You heard? The YouTube algorithm that I was making my money off of, that shit done became saturated with 10,000 motherfuckers trying to do the same shit that I do, and another 5,000 motherfuckers hating on me and dissing me. Most likely niggas who I started and gave a shot to. You feel what I'm saying? But YouTube became a real rest haven for filthy mongrels. You feel what I'm saying? And it kind of started turning me off because it's just so much negative smut peddling on that shit with a bunch of motherfuckers that come from the same places dissing each other and trying to compete with each other and surpass each other like a bunch of crabs in a barrel. You feel what I'm saying? On top of me having to deal with a bunch of problematic motherfuckers who, and basically with TikTok, I don't gotta worry about none of that shit, my nigga. You heard? I stick to my own content. I don't gotta fuck with nobody, and I do hundreds of thousands of views and millions of views. You heard? I get that money, and I'm concentrated on taking over a whole nother platform, and that's what I'm doing right now. And I've been real quiet about it, cause I need about 100,000 follower head start in front of these hating ass niggas and biting ass niggas that's gonna try to do everything I do, niggas.